everybody, and welcome to your week 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 recap show. Sorry for the delay, but it's good to be back.
God, it's an absolute honor to be here. Apologize for the delay. You guys deserve better.
Yep, let's get into it. All right, so it's obviously been a while, Jim. Where do we stand?
Well, Ross, you sit atop the Happy Endings division with a 2-game lead over both John and Andy. The Kindergarten Cops somehow maintaining that winning record. You also lead the league in points, and with a victory this week, I think you could really take a stranglehold over that division, possibly take a 3-game lead early on in the season. In the other division, the Hard Times division, Grim remains at the top somehow, even though he has the least points within the division. Really shocking that he's been able to maintain that 5-2 record. He's got Jake, the Doctor, and myself following him with winning records in the division. Jedediah Althouse leads the entire league in points, but somehow has a losing record in our division. Very difficult for the Pocono PWNers.
Very difficult. And also, we have John Hart holding the longest current winning streak at 3. We also have some other current winning streaks, Andy and Chuck at 2 in the Happy Endings division. Grim leading the Hard Times division with 2. Brendan and Jed also have 2.
But correct me if I'm wrong, Ross, it isn't always a good thing to have a winning, that winning streak.
You led right into my next point, the 6-game winning streak curse. Back in 2010, Chuck won his first 6 games and then lost his next 9 games. Then in 2011, after Rag had a 6-game winning streak, he actually finished last. Yeah. Last in the entire league that year. Also last year, you had an 8-game winning streak. Thought we had it in the bag. Lost the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, really tough to blow that last year. And Ross, you were just coming off that 6-game win streak of your own, weren't you?
That's true. That is true. So we'll see what happens in the coming weeks.
Absolutely. What else you got for us?
All right, let's get into this week's matchups. We have Grimsley Bears 5-2 versus Kindergarten Cop 4-3. I'm going to take Andy in this one. I'm also not exactly sure what Grim's doing with C.J. Spiller still being in his lineup.
Yeah, very interesting that he is leaving him in there. We get to the Thursday games. He's going to skip out on any players there heading into the weekend. We'll see what happens.
Very strange, but Brady can match up with Breeze in that one, and Andy's receivers are better than Grim's, so like I said, I'm taking Andy.
Taking Andy. All right, we move on to Bergylicious facing off against his childhood friend, the Choocher Magoocher. Ross, you've got Ray Rice on a bye this week, which is always difficult to have that first-round pick on a bye, but I think that you're going to be pretty competitive. Very interesting, Chuck is starting Josh Gordon, who has actually had 7 catches over the last 3 weeks. Only 7 catches, but those catches have amounted to over 50 fantasy points. About 7 points per reception for Josh Gordon. Even with that said, I still like Ross in this one. I think this is a big win for you to be able to get that win with Rice on the
I'm a little nervous. Chuck's been putting up some big points, so we'll see. All right, this week we got Fighting Frog Swamps 4-3 versus Masturbation 4-3. I think this is a close one. I expect both teams to put up around 100 points. They're going to keep an eye on 2 games here. The Lions versus Seahawks and the Steelers versus Redskins makes up about half of their matchup, so they'll be watching those games closely. You know what? I'm going to go with Brendan on this one.
You are.
I just pulled that one out of the air.
Very interesting. Dr. Brendan has always liked the Detroit Lions. I'm not really sure.
Yes, I don't know why.
Next up, we have Alberto versus BMAC. This is a very interesting matchup. They're projected to be within 2 points. The trash talking, I'm sure, has already started between both Al and BMAC. I like Run DMC versus the Kansas City Chiefs this week, but I also like Peyton Manning versus the New Orleans defense a little bit more. I'm going with Albert in this one. I think this is going to be a shootout.
All right. Next up, we got Rat Tails 4-3, Flying Hawaiians 2-5. Rag has 6 players on his injury report. Even his kicker, Sean Swisham, is on his injury report. I don't know. I think you're going to win this game just based off of the amount of injuries that Rag has. Although I do think if Jimmy Graham plays, that could sway it his way, but we'll see about that one.
Yeah, a lot of injuries, and then I lost MJD this week, so we'll see what happens there.
Yep.
Next up, we have JK versus John Hart. JK is forced to go with Philip Tanner in his running back 2 position. Tough to
depends if Felix plays,
there. But John has big question marks surrounding Trent Richardson, who is in his RB1 position. Yep. The thing is, Gronk loves fish and chips. The Patriots are going out to London.
That's
I
true.
think
He's gonna
JK
party.
rides Gronk into London, pulls out the W, ends that win streak for John. Very disappointing for Johnny.
All right, and then we got Pocono Pawners versus WrestleMania. Both teams have been putting up a lot of points recently. I'm going to take Jed in this one. I'm sure they're talking shit down in Fredericksburg as well. But actually, no. Johnny Boy or
Ricky
is up here. Not Johnny.
That is
Rick.
true. That
Yes,
is true.
so-
We'll see. I like Jed in that one too. He's put up a couple of big weeks here.
All right, well, there you have it, folks. That was your week 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 recap show. Hopefully, we'll see you next week.
Absolutely. God bless.